Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. Okay, welcome to another episode of Motivational Monday, where each one teach one. Father God, I thank you, Lord Jesus, for guiding us and protecting us. Thanking you for sending your son Jesus, who died on that cross for our souls, dear Lord Jesus. We pray for the sick, the hungry, the homeless, those that are in mental institution, the prisons, the hospital. Guide our families, dear Lord. Protect our paths and renew our minds, dear Lord, on a constant basis. Thank you that last night was not our last night, and today we are here in the land of the living. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hi, welcome, Philia,
Hello.
to another episode of Motivational Monday. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you? I see you're on the other side of the world of me.
Yes, I am in Trinidad and Tobago.
All
I'll be
right.
here for a couple weeks. I'm here to celebrate my mother's 89th birthday, which
Yes.
will be on Thursday, the 25th of January.
Woo.
Mine will be Friday, the 26th. So, yes, I'm in Trinidad. And so far, the weather has been good to us here. I know you guys are very cold in New York, right?
It is freezing here. I don't know when is this weather going to let up, but I cannot wait till it warms up a bit. So I am wishing that I was with you right now as we speak.
I know. I wish if you were here too. Actually, yesterday I saw one of your fans and she was asking, "Are you coming to Trinidad?" I said, "I really hope that one day she comes Trinidad."
I know.
I know she come Trinidad already, but with me, you know.
But with you, by
Yeah,
God's grace.
yeah. By God's grace.
Yes.
So I want to
Mhm.
say happy birthday to my niece Candice. Today is her birthday, Candice Valley. May
Happy
God bless
birthday, Candace.
many more birthday. And if you
Yes.
had a birthday past weekend, happy
Happy birthday. And of course, to the lovely fellas that is coming up for your mom.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank
And
you.
my son Noah is on Wednesday the 25th.
Happy birthday to Noah. And then I have a nephew to Jamai,
Mm-hmm.
Warrell. He and my mom born on the 25th. So
Look
both
at
of them
that.
have a birthday too.
And we have Khadija, who's born on the 27th. So
Happy birthday to Khadijah.
Beautiful.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
So what you got for us? What is the word of the week?
Okay, word of the week is sarcasm. You already
Mm.
know, we all know what sarcasm is, but let me give you the exact definition. Sarcasm is the use of words to communicate the opposite of what one says. So we use sarcasm to take low blows at people. We use sarcasm to make people doubt their intelligence. We use sarcasm just because we feel like doing it. So sarcasm.
Very nice.
All right.
Guys, share the page, like the page, big up, okay?
All right.
So I have a health tip for you guys today. Now, this year for 2024, you guys, I said that I wasn't going to read out a health tip. I'm going to explain some of our function that our body parts does for us, all right? So
Mm-hmm.
today we're going to do eyes. What is a fun fact about your eyes?
Oh,
Eyes are the second most complex organ after the brain. Only 1/6 of human eyeball is exposed. Eyes are able to process 36,000 pieces of information in a single hour. In an average life, your eyes will see 24 million different images. In a single glance, our eyes work with our brain to tell us the size, the shape, the color, the texture of an object. They let us know how close it is, whether it is standing still or coming towards us, and how quickly it's moving. Only part of the eyes is visible in a person's face. With light hits the retina, a light-sensitive layer of tissue at the back of the eye, special cells called photosensors turn the light into electric signals. These electrical signals travel from the retina through the optic nerve to the brain. Then the brain turns the signal into images you can see. They take in tons of information about the world around you: shapes, color, movement, and more. Then they send the information to the brain for processing, so the brain knows what's going on outside of your body. You can see the eye, every pretty, amazing, so on, come on. Let's take a tour of many of the parts. Why is the eye so special? Eyes are incredibly complex, highly protective and resilient organs that can adjust to different conditions and environment immediately. The muscle that move the eye are the fastest and strongest muscle in your body. Could you imagine that, Philia?
I did not know they were that strong. So
Wow.
that's amazing.
Relative to their function, they are 100 times powerful than necessary. Why people love eyes? People may say they like your eyes for a variety of reasons. Some possible reasons could include the color of your eyes, the shape, or the way they reflect light. Eye contact is also an important aspect of human communication, and people may appreciate the way you make eye contact during conversations. They are the second most powerful body part after the brain. The real eye is always working and not all sleep. They manage 85% of all the information you will ever get. The estimated weight of a human eyeball is about 28 grams. It protects our confidence and our attitude too. The eyes are the first thing that draws us on an individual. Eyes are spectacular because they have the ability to hold another person's gaze. All of us want attractive eyes that speak volume and have immense style. 5 senses about the eye. Eyes are above your nose. Eyes are 2 in number. Eyes of blue, brown, and black color. Eyes are one of the 5 sense organ of your body. And what color are your eyes?
Brown. I wish they were a little lighter, but yeah, they're brown.
My eyes are brown also. My
Yeah.
eyes are brown. I don't have black eyes. I have
Right.
brown eyes.
Right.
You know, but it's so interesting to know the functions of how important your eyes could be, and
Right.
people tend to sometimes not really think about your eyes, but sometimes I think about if you have your eyes and you can't see anymore.
Right.
I think sometimes that could be challenging, but I mean it can be much challenging if you know your whole.
Correct.
Because you have eyes to see, like some people who have diabetes and some
Right.
people who has glaucoma and
Or
can't see
cataracts
anymore,
or anything
cataracts
like that.
and different things like that.
Right.
Then they are aware, the body is aware of the function of how we approach things. But to lose your eyesight, I think that can be so difficult. But I think when you lose your eyesight, you become very sensitive and very aware.
Absolutely.
And conscious. because
Very,
it's a very important part of your body, as they say.
and you
So,
take it for granted sometimes. I have a interesting story. In 2019, I actually almost lost my eyesight. I had a weird condition. I was in a hospital for 6 weeks in Long Island Jewish Hospital, and my eye had come out almost out of the socket, like, and it was big and projected and stiff. So I could still see, but my eye was not movable, and it was my
wow.
right eye. And they thought it was Graves' disease. They thought it was some
Yeah.
autoimmune disease. They thought it was lupus. They thought I had cancer. So they had to do a biopsy on it. And they didn't really know what was going on with my eye. And they kept telling me I was going to lose my eyesight because they couldn't really imagine what was happening. And it didn't hurt. It just felt like pressure was
Right.
pushing the eyeball out. And I would physically feel it and hold it back. But
Wow.
needless to say, um, 6 weeks later, this is after bounds of steroids and antibiotics, they attribute it to a blocked tear duct, which is crazy because you would think that with a blocked tear duct, they would have been able to find it. But
Right.
it made me appreciate the importance of your eyes, because here I was told that I was going to lose my eyesight, and God willing, and thank God I was covered by the blood of Jesus that I didn't
Right.
lose it. But it's making me really appreciate what we have. Like, we take things for granted, even the air we breathe. It's like,
Yes.
oh, and then if you don't have it anymore, then there's death. You understand? Our people need oxygen tanks and things of that sort. So I think that when they say the best things in life are free, to me, that's what that means. Like, your eyesight is free, or you don't have to pay for it. But then if you don't have it, then think about all the things that you're going through in life, not having things like that. So I think that we need to really appreciate our life, just breathing air, just being able to see, just being able to speak, having all of our fingers, our toes, our facets, because when those things are taken away from us, your life is compromised, to some degree. So
Yeah.
this makes me really think about it. And I'm really happy that you are going through these body parts, because again, we take them for granted. Like, who's really thinking about our eyes or our liver and things of that sort? So I love these health tips. They really make it more mindful about what we have and what we own.
I think so, and thank you for sharing that too, because I didn't even know the eyes was the second most important part of
Right,
our body,
right,
and
right.
how it works so meticulous,
Exactly. And
and
to hear that it was the strongest, I'm like, why the strongest? But I guess it's constantly being used. I mean, just think about when you hold your hand up in the air like this, how tiresome it can be. So just imagine the eyes doing the same thing, being able to focus on little words, or when you're seeing and you're passing signs and you're driving, you have to pay attention. That's a lot of work for some two little balls.
yes, yes,
That's a lot of work. So I get why it's the strongest, but we never think about it. That's amazing.
no, yeah, we never really think about it being the strongest, but it's
Right.
so funny the way how they say it, and I mean, we never know, and that's why I say, this year I wanted
Mhm.
to go through and let people know about the parts, how important it is, because I think, as you say, we take things for granted. These two little buttons, we want to be able to see, we want to be able to know,
Right.
what's going on, the functions and different things like that.
Exactly.
That is that I think this was interesting.
I think it was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
But in bringing the idea of our eyesight, we're gonna look further into our guests. We ready for our guest?
I'm not seeing her on yet. Let me
Okay.
text her and find out if
Okay.
she's ready. Um,
Okay.
let me text her. Yeah.
All right.
So how have you been otherwise?
Well, I think for me now, what's current is my 40-day sugar fast. Some of you have been um, on the chat, and it's 40 days without sugar. And what we are doing, and here's the book, which is called the 40-day sugar fast. So
Right.
the idea of this fast is that we tend to use sugar and food as our crutch. Whenever you're depressed, you go to food. When you're too happy, you go to food. When you want to enjoy
Right.
yourself, you go to food. And um and what's happening is that it's like this this fast is because Jesus also, when he went out into the wilderness to fast for us and our salvation, it's showing that instead of leaning on candies and chocolates and breads and biscuits, you lean on God, you know.
Right.
And so this sugar fast is whenever we feel like we want the crutch, we have to be able to lean on God. We have to be able to have a lot of self-reflection, and we have to be able to just spend time, because I think, you know, when you start thinking about the amount of time you spend to go to work and to go shopping and doing online and going on social media, are you really spending the amount of time that you need to have your spiritual nourishment? So this fast is teaching me the importance of spending time with God. So it's been difficult, you know, because I love cookies and donuts and cake and biscuits, and just being a foreigner, everything that we do is
Yes.
carb related, whether it's a dumpling or bake of rice. And being African, you know, it's staple in the house. So and a lot of those are these complex carbohydrates they turn into sugar in the body, you know. So it's making a concerted effort. And if I'm going to drink tea, then there's
Okay.
no sugar. Like I'm drinking Canada Dry right now, but it's salsa, you know, as opposed
Right.
to soda. So really, soda is about the bubbles, not really about the taste. So if you could train yourself to say, here's the bubbles without the sweet, then it's okay. And it's
Right.
just training me to be a little different and to be better. So
Very
yeah,
good.
that's what I'm on right now. I see people are
Yes.
asking about the live. You want
Yeah.
to?
I'm seeing they're asking about the live. They're saying they're not seeing me, but I'm seeing everything set up. Yeah, I could see me on my Facebook page.
Right.
They're
Do
saying they're not
you?
seeing.
Maybe you need to send out the stream on the chat so that people can log in. Maybe that's
Um,
why.
one moment, Kay. One moment. Send it out via what?
Yeah. Okay. So on the chat, are they okay? Are they logging into your Facebook in the same way?
Yeah.
So this live stream is just you and I. Not everybody else gets on in the same way.
No,
Correct?
well, right now it's supposed to be streaming from Facebook
Right.
and on YouTube. That's the
Okay.
two. That's the two boxes that check right now.
Okay. So I think I'm seeing that people are asking, they're not seeing you. So maybe we can resolve that so that more people can be able to
Okay, so
see
let
you.
me see what's going on. Kay, hold one moment, please.
Okay. And Kay is getting ready to come on, correct?
Yeah, Kay is here. Kay, you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine. Hi, ladies. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Kay. How are you?
I'm
Happy New
well,
Year.
thank you. Happy New Year. Love
Okay.
the hair.
Thank you.
Way
I
to
love your
go.
hands. Thank you. And I see we're all taking care of our eyes and wearing some really cute glasses. So
Oh,
that's a
yes.
good thing.
A must. A must.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Phyllis, while you're working on that, I will read a short bio on Kay.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
So everyone can read. Okay. All right. So we have Kay Hammond, who is LCSW. I guess that's a licensed social worker. She has worked in various roles as part of a senior leadership and direct practice. She has a master's degree in social work from NYU with 16 years of clinical care experience, including healthcare and behavioral health systems. Kay is a native of Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn and is a proud soccer mom. She
Oh,
loves
yeah.
traveling internationally, listening to all types of music, and enjoys cooking. Her lifelong dream is to be on the Food Network show Chopped. Love Chopped, Kay. Can't wait to see you on there from my mouth to God's ears, girl.
Thank you so much for that wonderful intro. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Welcome, my love.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
All right, welcome. I don't know what's going on, but I am seeing it on my page, but I just not seeing comments. So I don't know. I was trying to see if I can share it.
Is it recording? Are we recording as well?
No, this shows me it live.
This is live.
Okay.
This is
No, but
live.
I mean, is the live recorded?
I don't think so, but let me go check.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good so then everyone be able to see it, right?
Yeah, maybe at a later date you can just repost it.
Right,
Oh.
right.
Recording. It's in local recording. Or local. No, I don't want local, right? So general.
Oh, we just lost her.
Sorry, what you say?
We just lost her.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Who is that? Me? Oh, Philia?
Yeah.
We're all here.
Oh,
Okay,
there she
good.
go. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
we're good.
let's start. If there's
Yeah, we'll
anything, we
start.
will just,
People will catch us. We'll just repost it and
yeah.
they'll be able to see everything. So we are here with Kay Hems. Hello, Kay.
Yes, Kay.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome to Motivational Monday, where each one teach one. Myself and Philia, we co-host Motivational Monday, where we just come together and enlighten our viewers of everyday living, things that happening to us every day. So, how are you doing?
I am awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, for having me. I appreciate the invite. I think that what you guys are doing is great.
Thank
And
you.
I have tons of information around mental health, which tie into you all the things that you folks are doing.
Right.
So we can do this a bunch of ways. I can take some questions around mental health. I can go any direction that you want. If there's any prompts that you want to lead, but I just want to just make the statement about like our community is affected by and large by thousand leaps and bounds by others around the stigma that we still associate with mental health, and we have to fix that. COVID has helped us tremendously in shedding light on making it more acceptable to seek help and just on mental health as a whole. So that kind of has helped. COVID has had some positive impacts on how we see mental health. It's a lot more prevalent in everywhere. So, yes, I am here to preach the good word around all things mental health, to take any questions specifically, but happy to be here to joining you ladies this evening.
Great, great, great. Well, we know mental health is affecting, a lot of people, especially after COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's still affecting people daily.
Mm-hmm.
And some people cannot seem to get over it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Agree. And also too, even without COVID being, a factor. Life happens, life goes in ebbs and flows. There's good and bad, tragedies, good stuff. So, mental health is something that should be on the forefront of our
Yes,
minds, just like we go get a physical every year to
yes,
make sure that our bodies is doing what it needs to do. Our heart is right, our cholesterol is okay. But sometimes in our communities, mental health takes a back burner as a part of like your entire well-being, as a part of your
exactly.
well-being.
Yeah,
So again, there's a lot of companies that have been set up to do this telehealth virtual thing with mental health, which is also great. So folks don't have to, necessarily walk into a clinic anymore.
right.
So there's a lot of
Options.
options in terms of folks seeking support around their mental health, but the stigma, we still need to do a better job around the stigma, particularly with Black men and our children. They're sometimes the last ones to raise their hand for support. um
Exactly.
Women are running into therapy offices at alarming rates, and that's great, but we need to get our brothers comfortable with raising their hands for help as well.
Yes.
And platforms like this hopefully will help us make a bigger impact on getting folks to do just that.
I think so. But how do we start really with our community? Because some people really stigmatize about getting help.
Right. Right.
And it's like I don't want to talk to anyone.
Mhm.
They grow up with families not speaking. So
Right.
how can we get across with people being more open, especially in this time?
Right.
Yes.
Well, I think that's a very good question. I think a lot of it starts within the home,
Right.
making things okay to be, from that very point of raising, rearing your children, that it's okay. Just like it's okay to go to the dentist every 6 months, it is okay to have mental health support, and not necessarily because there's trauma or something horrific happened, but everyone could benefit from a safe space to
Right.
work out life issues, your next step, maybe in your career, that you might not be able to bring those sorts of issues and concerns and thoughts to people that are in your life that are close to you. They have a different role, right? It's not a professional role. Sometimes, folks may, if you have families like mine, they may want to hold you back and tell you what you can't do,
Right.
right? But, I think anyone can benefit from having a safe emotional space to work out life. And I think, like, to answer your question, it starts in the home, letting kids know it's okay. During COVID, I made sure that my son, who is home virtual, who's under 12,
Right.
when they offer free counseling for, through the school, I stuck him in immediately.
Right.
Because, everyone was stressed and going through so much being indoors and having their life interrupted during COVID. Like, where do kids go with that stuff? Like, where do adults go? Like, if you don't have a safe space to work those things out,
Right.
you deal with them, they deal with you.
Right. Exactly.
They deal with you. So it starts in the home and making sure that it's okay. And then the society, community, like shows, you see TV shows all the time now. I'm talking to my therapist,
Yes.
like the Kardashians, like folks like that have had therapists on speed dial since they're 5.
Right.
Right? Why
Yes.
are we the last
Yes.
ones to the party? Right. So we got to break away from that stigma. It is okay to seek out help. It is okay to have someone to work out life's issue, especially if you're being stymied in life and your day-to-day living is affected, and everyone can benefit from the support of a mental health professional.
Great.
Okay, thank you for that, because I wanted to mention that COVID is really when you started to realize how being confined in closed homes actually berated the idea of what mental health is. Like
Mhm.
those who used to have the outlet didn't have an outlet anymore.
Right.
And I would
Right.
say that, relationships that were going to worked, and the ones that were bound to break up definitely
Correct.
worked.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So I think
Yes.
it was a blessing in disguise for those toxic
Yeah.
relationships
Yes.
that needed to.
Serious. And even not so
Right.
toxic.
Right.
I think people take for granted
Mhm.
some of the kind of emotional breaks that are built into your day-to-day life.
Right.
For example, that drive and commute to work, that
Right.
30 minutes or 20 minutes,
Right.
that's a break. That
Yes.
is a break from people, life. You get time to reset. You don't
Yes.
realize it, but it's built in. When you
Mhm.
stopping and having a conversation with your coworker when you get in for 5 minutes,
Mhm.
in the break room, that is you filling your cup. That is having a space to go. And
Right.
in those relationships at home, if you guys are like two ships passing in the night,
Right.
Mhm.
this one goes to work, that one has the kids, and life happens.
Right.
COVID forced people to sit down and talk to each other and
And
be
have to deal with each
present.
other or not.
Yeah, and
Right.
Yeah.
some folks
So
just didn't like what they saw.
correct.
You know?
Right. So that's why I said
So
it was a blessing and a
yeah,
curse, depending on which way you want to look at it. But I think
serious.
that was the time I started to realize my son is, God willing, will be turning 13 this week. But
Oh,
thank
teenager.
you. But I think COVID actually brought that out, and he started therapy then, because I started realizing there were so many things that I didn't recognize, because of course he had school and there's karate and there's this. So those day-to-days were easy distractions, but now you started to realize this internal conflict, and you're like,
Mhm,
where's this coming from? You have
mhm.
games at your whim, anything you want you get, and then yet
Right.
still they're talking about not being happy, and it's like, well, you
Right.
have a reason not to be happy about. Like,
Mhm.
you don't have problems there. What is it? You don't work, you don't have crazy chores, you don't get in trouble. Like, what's the problem? But there's still intrinsic problems that happen that we as parents
Absolutely.
just feel like, shape up. Like, what's the problem? Get over
Right.
it. And it's like
Right.
growing up in this community, especially with our culture, they like, you don't have any real issues. You don't have a reason to be depressed. Da da
Right.
da. You have this and you have that, but it's so much more to it than that. And I think
Absolutely.
it's teaching us to be more empathetic to those needs. And
Exactly.
I'm so happy that as a woman of color, being able to talk about it and making it okay and not a
Yes.
bad thing to get help. I
Yes.
think that's the kind of conversations that we need to have. So thank you for that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is, I used to work in a clinic, and some of the moms that used to come in with their kids, a lot of times it would be school mandated, court mandated. There was some other catalyst other than them wanting to walk in the door that got them there. And I used to have to do some psychoeducation in the beginning around, benefits of therapy and treatment for folks' children, because I kind of equate it to like the computer. You remember, like back in the day, I might be dating myself, Black households and brown households were 10 years behind in having a computer in their home.
Right. Yes.
Mental health was the same thing. Like, we were behind in the times,
Right.
when it came to mental health being a factor and a tool that we had in our toolbox to help us and our family's life.
Right. Right.
The other thing is, in terms of your child, when you brought up 13, like our kids who live a very good life, right? Because that's what we try to provide for them, and we wonder, like, what issues could they possibly have?
Right.
There's so many influences that are not us in
Right.
raising our children. In our day, it was, maybe grandparents and family who were like the major influences in our children's lives. Today, we have to contend with TikTok, social media, peer
Yes.
pressure, and it's younger and younger, like young kids, out there taking their lives under the age
Yes.
of
And I'm going to bring
18.
that up too. Suicide.
So right. So those social pressures, which have nothing to do with how we're rearing them, a lot of that stuff comes from the social media and the social pressures that they have to contend with outside of our home, right? So those influence weigh very heavy on our children.
Right.
We look up and you don't even know why your kid is depressed.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been on being cyberbullied, or a classmate is, I had my son come talk to me about his clothing recently.
Really.
I'm like, all the money I spent on clothes, you should not have an issue.
Right.
But like, kids were talking to him about his clothes, and this is not like a poorly dressed kid,
Right.
but I've seen this kid with the same 3 kids in my school with the same sweatshirt, and
Right.
I'm like, that's not my problem. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We shopped at the same place,
Yes.
but like all of these pressures that we wouldn't think mount on our kids, and it's a lot for them to contend with out in the world. So I just wanted to
I
just make
think
that
so
point.
too. I think too, and I was going to bring up too, with the amount of young people suicidal now. And that's, as you say, online, the bullying, the depression, they don't know how to handle things like that. And, it's sad. It's sad when you look around, and even with your peers, most of my peers are depressed. And when I get up in the morning, I'm happy go lucky. I thank God for waking up. But some people cannot deal with the pressures of life. Look at COVID. Like, I know if lights gone, I could light a candle. Some people don't know that. If water gone, I could have a bottle of water and wash my face, and different things. Just the simple things in life that some people don't know how to deal with. Rejection is another thing. Some people don't know how to deal with that rejection from others, favoritism.
Right.
So when you look at the world that we live in today, it is so difficult, not only for children, for adults, for older people, parents who have dementia, what I mean, for a young person dealing with that. Most of the young people cannot deal with the parents who miserable that is sick. You know what I mean? Like, oh, ma saying this and that over and over, or she tells me the same thing, because once a man, twice a child. She cannot remember, and some people don't have the patience to say, okay, man, no problem, blah blah blah. They intend to. Some people then now turn to ill-treating their parents, putting them in a home, and different things like that. So there's a lot of emotional damage, people.
Seriously, and that's a good point that you bring up. That's why it's like very important to just normalize mental health being a part of our well-being, and not when things are bad, right? Like, it just from the very inception of just young folks, kids being young. So then that way, when life starts to do its thing,
Right.
and starts to have some of those valleys, loss, death, sickness, and and all of the things that life does. Folks have other tools like seeking mental health support already in place. Like it's
Right.
already a regular part of
Right.
them, a regular part of their wellness, like just like going to get a checkup.
Right.
Folks kids are familiar, young adults are familiar. So when they start college and that depression starts to kick in because they're separated from the home and things like that, it's like, oh well, let me reach out to my therapist. This is a conversation I need to have with my therapist this week. These are the type of things that we need to continue to normalize. And there's a lot of organizations now out that are also trying to get the message out there, and there's a lot of activists out. But again, it needs to start at home, with the significant people around, young people, and just as an example too. And life can get complicated.
Yes.
What are the tools? Are you praying? Yes. Are you
Yes.
seeking support for your mental health? Because God forbid there is a mental health, there is something genetically, there's a genetic situation like schizophrenia, bipolar, there's some sort of family history.
Right.
There's not enough sometimes prayers in the world to do anything about, that DNA, right? Like that
Yeah.
is, you may have to seek some other supports, whether that's medication
Exactly.
or some sort of mental health supports um out there to help you with that situation. And again, we want to be out spreading the word that stigma is a thing of the
Yes.
past. Stigma kills people.
Yes.
That's why we have these young people out, taking their own life because they feel like they have no
On
other options.
avenues. Yes.
And the other thing about those folks who are going to those extremes about hurting themselves and suicide attempts is the folks around don't see the sign. They don't know the signs.
Right.
Right.
So
So
what?
when we
So
talk,
what are some of the signs that we could look for?
so in terms of depression and when things are really acute, like you want to look at someone is isolating, right? They
Okay.
are not coming around
Right.
like that. You're used to seeing this person be in every family function, and now you're
Right.
not seeing them so much.
Right.
Or if they're living in your house and you haven't seen them in days, they haven't come outside their room to shower, they haven't come out to eat. Um, you notice they might be disheveled when you do see them, they're not their normal selves.
Right.
These are some of the things you want to start having conversations with folks about, um, because you may not know how bad a person is hurting. Because by the time a person makes it to wanting to hurt themselves and not be and unalive themselves, they are in a lot of pain.
Hmm.
And sometimes folks around are like, why? Like they were so happy.
Yes.
Folks who are also in that type of pain are masters at hiding it.
Right.
So you might not know. So checking in with people who might seem
Right.
like they're okay.
Wellness check.
So regular check-ins with people. Hey, what's on your head and heart today? How
Right.
is your mental health?
Right.
How are things going? Or if things tragic happen in their life. Hey, I know you lost your mom last week. How are you managing that?
Right.
Is there anything that I can do to support you? Have you thought about seeing a therapist? So just arming yourself with information makes a world of difference in identifying trigger points with folks when things really start to get bad. Because when they get bad and a person has made that terrible choice, a lot of times, for the folks around, it's too late because you've kind of missed all of the signs,
Wow.
or they just were very, very good at hiding how much pain they were in.
Yeah. Last week I lost two colleagues, and it's
I'm
tough.
so sorry to hear that.
It's tough from the Delta family. I mean, it's tough for everybody. I mean, and one was living alone, and her uncle found her. And the other one was also living alone, and she died on Friday, and the daughter find her on Monday.
Wow.
It started to have me thinking, I live alone too. But sometimes I say, oh Lord, I hope I don't fall down and hit my head. Nobody will find me. But
Right.
I have an army. I have friends who we make daily prayer call. You know, I try to go on the chat every day and say hi, good morning. You know, so people could always know I am okay, I'm good. Yeah, you know, because you never know. We have
Right.
to do more wellness check on one another,
Right.
especially if you live alone.
Right.
Always check and find out, as you say, how are you today? Is
Right.
everything okay? You had a surgery, how it's healing? You know, that could bring you down too sometimes. It could bring you down when you have a baby, you're a new mom. You never know, as you say, only
Right.
if you ask, you know? Phila, you have any questions?
Well, I was going to say something even as simple, like even when you mentioned the baby, even postpartum, you know, it's like still being studied. But I suffered from it with my first daughter, who's now 23, you know, God willing, will be 24 this year. And it broke my relationship, my marriage up at the time, because it broke my relationship up because it's like he just thought I was being lazy and, you know, what's wrong with you? You got a baby. You're supposed to get it together. Why you wearing the same robe in the house? Why you don't
Yeah. Well, we lost Phila.
Yeah.
Come back on.
She cut out, but
Yeah.
that is all so common. Like people think that you have the
Right.
baby and you're supposed to be just, you know, full of bliss.
Right. And
And
then
that could be furthest from the truth. But
furthest
continue your
from the
story.
truth. Exactly. And you know, I remember at first getting all this attention when I was pregnant, and then it's like then the baby comes and all the attention shifts, and then you don't even understand what's going on, and it's like you're no longer needed. And it was just so many things. But again, not understanding it, people tend to cast blame on the mom, not
Yeah.
understanding that there's hormonal things. So it would be something just simple as even with the baby showers, everything is about the baby. Sometimes
Mm.
get something for the mother, and just
Yeah.
say, and we don't think about that. We think about everything else. So it
Yeah.
would be simple little things like that somebody who's not in tune doesn't recognize how
Right.
that
Right.
could spiral into something else, and you sometimes want to harm your child but you don't want to talk about it, or you're
Right.
tired, or and
Right.
that leads to other things. So it's just such a huge thing that we really need to pay attention to. Let me put it that
Yeah.
way.
And arm
Because
ourselves with information. The thing
yeah,
is, we have to, our community has to do a better job at arming ourselves with information.
right.
Postpartum is another big one that people don't understand
Yeah.
or may not have all the facts. So, like, all you said about being called lazy and being in the same clothes, if folks really knew all that a new mother goes through
Right.
in those first couple of months,
Hard.
it is it is, I can't even get the words out, but it can be very, very trying.
Right.
And then if you have something already organic going on, it is just exacerbated at times, and can lead to some long-term mental health situations,
Right.
and like chronic depression, and like so many different things that can take away from being a new mom. But warning steps, back to what you said, like being aware, arming yourself with information, making mental health and mental wellness a part of your everyday annual routine, filling your cup, doing your things that support you, and filling your cup up, and everything that's in your cup is yours. Everything that
Yes.
spills over is for everybody else.
Yes.
No,
Yes. Yes.
and that way you always maintain in some sort of balance with it, and don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are so many organizations. If you just type in mental health in your zip code, you
Right.
will find supports in your community. And so there's things that folks can still do in private, as well as like connecting with your mental health providers, or your just your regular PCP,
Right.
can make referrals for you as well. But check in on your folks. A lot of times too, we also don't use our gut. You're like, oh, something's going on. I got a
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
so and so. I haven't heard from her in a while. Check in on your people. That is another tool that we underestimate around. And if people are not being responsive, then you show up.
Right.
you
Yes.
know Show up at people's homes, whether show up at their job, whatever it is, to ensure that they're okay, especially if they have some sort of history of mental health issues, because it could be a matter of life and death. I think about poor Robin, what was it, Robin Williams,
Yes.
who, oh my God, it's such a tragic life, and making people laugh, and all that he endured behind the scenes and behind the
Yes.
camera
Yes.
around his mental health. But
Yes.
there's and then the other gentleman from Ellen, the dancer, who
Yes.
like, so people suffer every day in silence.
You
So
know which one I remember good is the Miss World, the Miss America, the young girl
yeah,
who
yeah.
committed suicide last 2 years or
What
something.
is she like? She was in her 20s, I think.
20-year young,
Yeah.
beautiful. She was into things and battling. 21.
Depressed, and she
Yeah.
was as depressed as all outdoors
Yes. Yes.
for a long time, because again, like I said, by the time a person makes it to want to hurt themselves, they are really suffering. It's not like you wake up one day and be like, oh, this is the day. No, it is, folks in that state are hopeless and in so much pain that they feel like death is the only way out.
Right.
So sometimes it is just they want the pain to stop, and by that time, sometimes it's just too late.
Too late. Yes. Wow. Well, we have a part of the segment here that it's called Ditch It or Keep It. So you're going to ditch whatever or you're going to keep whatever, right? So I'll ask you one, Philly will ask you one. Okay, so the first one is Paris or London?
Philly, I'm going to let you go first.
No, it's for you.
It's
that's for me?
Yeah, that's this segment.
This is
okay.
Ditch it or keep it.
So
Yeah.
I would.
Paris or London. That's what
This
she's
is not
asking.
even a question. So I'll definitely ditch London.
Okay.
Because
So you keep it Paris.
if you've ever had a pastry or a piece of bread in Paris, you know that there's no comparison to London.
Unless you want some tea and biscuits.
Yeah, no. So I'm definitely ditching London.
Okay, good. Fill
Nice.
you up.
Okay, New York Knicks or New York Yankees?
Okay, so I have to go. I have to go with the Knicks because my partner is a big Knick fan. I think it's Spike Lee, then there's him. In terms of being a super
He's next
fan.
to Spike Lee
He's
on
next to Spike Lee.
on the line.
Yes. So I want to say guilty by association.
Okay. I love it.
And I'm gonna go with Knicks.
Support
Yes.
your man. I love it.
Yes. All right, number 3, summer or winter?
Oh, this is easy. So I am a summer baby born in July. And if it's not 100 degrees, ladies, I don't want it.
Okay, I love it. Hot. Okay, pizza or hot dogs?
Oh, well, see, I don't eat meat, so
okay,
that's an easy choice.
Nice.
And preferably a margarita pizza.
Ooh, I love margaritas.
Yeah,
How about the grandma? You like the grandma
I
slice?
love the grandma, but it has to be a corner slice with a couple of slithers of basil on top.
Oh, child, you are a real New Yorker by heart. I love it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm a foodie, too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Big
Okay.
time.
Cheesecake or pretzels?
I'm going to go with pretzels because I'm not a big cheesecake fan.
Okay.
I did like Junior's cheesecake, but I used to just eat the filling and the little crunchies on it.
Right.
And throw away the cheese.
Very funny. Nice. Okay.
Wine or champagne?
Oh, come on. Y'all driving a hard bargain now.
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with champagne.
Champagne?
Yes, I'm going to go with champagne.
Nice. Okay. Jazz or hip hop?
I love everything. I'm gonna go with hip hop.
Okay.
Go with hip hop.
Okay, good. Subway. Jay-Z. Jay-Z or Biggie Small?
Okay, so all right, I'm a little bit biased right now because I've been listening to the soundtrack for the Book of Clarence. And this is not a plug. They should probably pay me for this plug, but the soundtrack on the Book of Clarence has a song with Jay-Z and D'Angelo on it, and it
Mm.
is I've been listening to it over and over and over again. It's such a good song, and it's kind of jazzy and bluesy and like such a good song. So right now I would say Jay-Z.
All
Jay-Z?
right.
Okay, good.
Nice. Okay. Subway or bus?
Subway. Yeah, give me a train any day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
would
you're a New Yorker.
yeah, give me
Exactly.
a train any day.
Okay, beach or river?
Remember that part that I said about 100-degree weather?
Yeah.
So this should be
That's easy.
So I'm gonna go with beach.
Yes, I don't mind so. All right. Philia?
Okay. Did you do beach or river?
Yeah, number
Okay.
11.
Okay. City life or country life?
City life.
City life.
Okay.
Having
City girl. Love
Yes,
it.
I'm a city girl. I like the country, but like in doses.
Got
Right.
you. Okay.
Okay, Bronx Zoo or Brooklyn Botanical Garden?
That's a hard one. So Bronx Zoo is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of stuff that I love. They do something every year called Boo at the Zoo. It's like their Halloween thing
Mm-hmm.
for kids. But Brooklyn Botanic has
The sun, they have a
good.
flower something every year, right?
Yeah, I might go with the zoo. It's a lot more to do with the kids.
It is.
Right.
It is. I love it. Okay. Last but not least, Michael Jackson and Prince.
Oh man. I hope neither one of them come to haunt me, but I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson.
All right.
Even though I love me some Prince, but
I know,
Yeah.
I think
It's okay.
Michael Jackson is it.
You see, that wasn't hard. So that was our trivia.
Okay,
segment.
no, I thought that was gonna be a lot harder. I was sweating over here.
Yeah. No, that was our trivia. Just to get to know you a little more. I just want to thank you for coming on to Motivational Monday, chilling with us. I know probably you could have been doing a lot of stuff.
Aw, it's my pleasure.
So much. Don't be a stranger. I want to
It's
say
my
thank
pleasure.
you to Keisha for recommending
Absolutely.
you to come on to the program because it's all about each one teach one.
Yes.
Love that.
We always go back and we could always spread out good word.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's going to be uploaded on my YouTube page.
Okay.
So once I'm uploaded, I'll send you a copy. You can share it on your page if you want.
Mhm.
And just to always be mindful that people can go back, look back, in case if they're depressed one day to see this program,
Right.
some kind of information.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you ladies for having me on.
Thank
I think
you.
what you're doing is wonderful and motivating in itself. And I'm happy to come on if it an additional time if you want. And enjoy the rest of your week and be well. And if you need a good therapist,
We know
share
who to
my
call. Yes,
number.
we will share
Yes.
your info, honey. And
I am
tell us all the
taking patience.
insurances or cash,
Yes.
whatever it
I
is.
am taking patience.
Post it.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
All right, you guys be well.
Okay,
Thank
bless. Have a
you.
blessed
Okay.
week. Happy New Year.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, guys, there you had it. That's our Motivational Monday episode. And Philia, you want me to come back in with our DNA testing results so Facebook could see?
Okay, so how are we doing it? What are we doing now?
Okay, so I'm going to end this live and
Okay.
go back in and see if it's not recorded because somehow I feel this probably recorded.
Okay.
Because they're not seeing it, and then we
Okay.
can go with our DNA
Okay,
test.
so go ahead. You can go back in. So let me come out, right?
Right. So come
Okay.
out,
Let
and
me
I
come
will
out.
send you back a link.
Okay.
And we'll go back in where Facebook could see it because I don't want this to be recorded. Which
No
I feel.
problem. Okay, no
Alright.
problem.
So
Okay.
I'll bring you back on just now.
No problem.
All right. Hi, guys.